Hey everyone. Today's topic, stop valuing your romantic interests more than yourself. So what I mean here is there is a somewhat common behavior that people who have low self-esteem or just an overall lack of self-love tend to engage in, where if they're interested in someone, if they have a crush on someone, they tend to value that romantic interest way too highly, and often they will value that romantic interest more than themselves. They will basically look at that person and believe them to be better than they are. And it's quite often like a subtle form of pedestalizing, because it may not be full-blown pedestalizing like what simps tend to do towards any woman who shows interest in them, but it can be a minor form of it where you're still basically viewing that person as better than they truly are in reality. And if you're the type who has done this in the past, and especially if you're the type who often does view your romantic interest as being better than you, then you really ought to work on your self-love. That is the solution here for the most part, because when you work on your self-love, it will raise your self-esteem along with it. And with that, you'll hopefully engage in this behavior a lot less, because it's just not helpful. Like, you do not want to get caught in playing that game of constantly thinking the people you're interested in are better than you, because that will almost always make you needy to some extent. As soon as you believe they're better than you, you're going to be playing that game of trying to keep them around you, right? Because you're going to think, why are they going to want to stick around and be with me when I'm not all that great? So right then and there, you're probably going to show up in needy ways rather often. And I've already talked about in plenty of other videos how neediness is like the number one attraction killer, because it really is. It kind of shows that you don't have a lot going on in your life maybe, or you don't have a lot of romantic interests at your disposal, so you're getting too invested, or it can show that you have a lot of insecurities and other things. Basically, neediness just shows that there are underlying issues at play, and it'll make someone who's really secure and grounded in themselves not interested in you, because they're not going to want to deal with that kind of behavior when they know they can probably find someone who isn't needy like that. So you really want to work on this if this is something that affects you. So yeah, the way to do that is just practice that self-love. Get to a place where you start viewing yourself better and treating yourself better. You really do want to treat yourself like someone who's really important to you. Like, don't beat yourself up with your thoughts, because that's not what you would do to someone you really care about, right? Be there for yourself, support yourself, cheer for yourself, motivate yourself, all of those things, and reject all those negative thoughts that you have about yourself. And when you're dating someone and you catch yourself playing that dumb game of rating them way too highly for who they actually are, notice that you do that, and then stop allowing yourself to go off on those tangents of thought. Like, I will literally do this. If I catch myself thinking a woman is better than she is, or I catch myself fantasizing about a future with her, I will literally stop and tell those thoughts to go the hell away, because they're not useful. I'll say, let me analyze her based on reality. How has she been acting? Has she been showing interest in me? Has she been reciprocating? Does she show initiative? Does she reach out to me sometimes first via text or phone calls, or is it always me being the one doing all that? I will analyze like everything to bring myself back to reality, so I know where I stand and I know what kind of woman she is, because I do not want to fall victim to believing a woman is way better than she actually is, because I'd rather look at them based on reality. I don't want to be psyching myself out or anything like that. So this is just something that is really helpful to get into, because not only will it help you actually attract these people by reducing or completely getting rid of your neediness, but it just allows you to better analyze whether they're actually a good partner for you, because so many people fall into that game of wanting to attract someone and be liked by someone that they never even stop and ask themselves if this is even someone they should be trying to attract. Like, are they even worth your time? I know, younger version of me, I went after many women. Well, I guess at the time some of them were girls as well when I was young enough. And yeah, it's just, you go after people who aren't great at all. Like, oh man, I remember some of they weren't really like heartbreaks by any means, but I do remember some of the girls I was interested in high school, and me like feeling all bad when things didn't work out with them, and then later on I would think back and be like, no, it's really good things worked out that way, because she was not good. Sure, she was attractive, but holy crap, she could have given me all sorts of insecurities and like self-esteem issues because she was messed up. And yeah, and that even still happened to some extent even when I was in like university and whatnot. I was still young enough to be going after the wrong types of women. And yeah, so it's only really something that I've become a lot better at since I have been older than like 24 or 25-ish, to be honest. So it took a while for me to really get good at analyzing women based on reality. And now dating is more of an issue because I struggle to find women that I actually want to include in my life. Even if I meet women who are fun to be around and I really enjoy spending time with them, I always think, she's great to be around, but I don't want a relationship with her. So it's just, yeah, it's a good place to be for the most part. You just have to get to a place, of course, where you enjoy your own company, because that way you'll enjoy being single. But if you don't like yourself, you don't like spending time by yourself, then being single is going to be horrible for you. So you really need to work on that, because that gives you the leverage to tackle dating from this place of you being the chooser. Not other people choosing you, but you choosing them. You deciding whether or not, do I even want to include this person in my life? Because that's truly the way you should operate when you're dating. Like, I don't care at all about staying single. If it means I'm going to be avoiding getting into a relationship with a woman who's absolutely horrible for me, I will take staying single like any freaking day of the week. Even staying single for the entire rest of my life. Sure would suck, because I do have certain goals related to relationships, like starting a family and whatnot, but I would take that. If every option otherwise was like getting into a relationship with a woman who wasn't good for me, I would stay single for the rest of my life, because that would still be better. So yeah, it's just, these are things people need to think about more often, because you just do not want to be tackling dating from that perspective of believing all the partners that come into your life are better than you because you're not good enough, you haven't worked on yourself enough, and you don't like yourself. Yeah, it's a really horrible place to begin dating. I would say if you are in that place, you probably don't even want to date until you've worked on yourself enough to tackle it from a more choosier perspective. You being the chooser, not them, and you trying to, gain their favor or whatever. Yeah, so there you go. That's pretty much the gist of what I wanted to talk about in this video. I did kind of go off tangent here and there, but I hope the tangents were at least useful, because yeah, these are things that have just helped me, because I started off dating from this place that I mentioned in this video. I mean, that's the way younger me was. Like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I always thought the girls and women who were interested in me were like better than I was, because they're attractive, right? And like, what did I have to offer? Even though at the time, even when I was younger, I still had quite a lot to offer, and I was selling myself short way too much. So just make sure you don't do that. Make sure you work on yourself enough, you build up your self-love, so that you can tackle dating from that place where you are the chooser. So yeah, that'll help you not constantly place other people or value them higher than you value yourself. Yeah. Anyway, that's pretty much all I want to talk about. If I keep going, I'll start rambling and repeating myself. So I truly hope you enjoyed this video. If you like content like this, be sure to subscribe for more. Otherwise, the easiest way you can help me out is just to throw a like and a comment on the video for the algorithm. And I will see you guys in the next one. Arrivederci.